Oh, welcome, Karim. Play Konsa or Robinson in defense. This game week, I will go for Konsa, home advantage, playing against Bournemouth. Robinson, decent fixture as well. Signs of this from Konsa. We know that he's nailed on, back from injury. I think that Aston Villa could do well in game week 9. At least I'm hoping so, having a double up on Aston Villa with both Rodgers and Watkins. So for me, if I had Konsa, I would probably start him in game week 9. Not the worst picture for Fulham though, playing against Everton, but I do believe Everton will score in this game, and hopefully it will be Calvert-Lewin. Free hit goalkeeper, best goalkeeper on free hit. If you take a look at the statistics, then of course it's Man City. They have the best clean sheet odds, 56% of a clean sheet in game week 9, playing against Southampton. But if you're playing your free hit, I would go for Guardiola. You will get the clean sheet, but you have potential for attacking returns as well. So for me, I would go for goalkeeper from Brentford or Brighton. So maybe Flecken. Definitely considering price, the fixture at home against Ipswich, I do believe that Flecken is a decent free hit keeper for game week 9. So the bookies, they predict both Brentford and Brighton to have a good chance of keeping a clean sheet in game week 9, but I like Brentford's chances better. I can't really see Brighton keep a clean sheet against Wolves. So I do believe that attacking options from Wolves like Cunha and Strand Larsen are decent options this week. So on a free hit, I would definitely go for Flecken. Although if you want to take a punt on doubling up on the Brentford attack with both Mbemo and Wissa up top, you're not sure about tripling up on Brentford, then Verbruggen could be decent as well, I guess. Second with Pinnock, so a double up on Brentford defense. Yes, sure. Especially on a free hit. I wouldn't actually like to double up on Brentford defense in the long run, but for one game week only on a free hit, I do believe that having both Flecken and Pinnock actually could be a really nice differential. So yeah, cheap as well. 4.5 and let you invest in other important areas of your team. So going with both Flecken and Pinnock, maybe triple up with Mbemo is a really nice idea with a free hit. I like it. So which other players are you considering on your free hit, Karim? Triple Brentford is a good start, considering their really nice fixture in Game Week 9. Flecken, Pinnock, and Buemo. That's a good start. I will probably go for someone from Man City as well. Aston Villa have a nice fixture against Bournemouth. And this is just my personal opinion, of course, but in Game Week 9, seeing we have a Friday deadline this game week, I would try to squeeze in a player from tonight's fixture just to make that game even more interesting. So a player from Leicester or Nottingham Forest. Maybe a punt on Buonanotte. Really cheap, good stats last 4 game weeks. And could do really well tonight against Nottingham Forest. So the deadline is only 1 hour and 27 minutes away. Make sure to lock in those transfers, especially on free hit, to confirm playing it before the deadline is gone. See a lot of FPL managers over at X selling Saka right now. Palmer is one of the players getting transfers in. And Son, of course, one of the most popular transfers in this game week. Let's see, actually, almost 300,000 have brought Son in just for Ange Postecoglou to tell us on the press conference today that he is a really big doubt for this weekend. So, yeah, kick in the teeth for those who brought him in. Start Ait Nouri or Gabriel. All the best this week, thanks. I would actually take a punt on Ait Nouri for this game week. Gabriel and the Arsenal defense is really highly owned. Maybe it's an advantage going without Arsenal defense this game week. I have a 50-50 decision between Gabriel and Van Dijk, but I will probably play Gabriel because of his attacking threat. But if I had Ait Nouri on my bench, I would probably just play him. It's a decent fixture for Wolves playing against Brighton. Brentford, Brighton are actually second, only beaten by Man City when it comes to expected clean sheet this game week. Kind of surprising seeing Brentford that high. I believe it's 36%. Yes, 36% clean sheet potential in game week 9 for Brighton. So I can see goals in that game, but Ait Nouri is attacking as well, so he can get both goals and assists. With Gabriel, you're like playing against Liverpool. Really hard to keep a clean sheet against them, of course, and when it comes to Gabriel, you have to rely on a set piece to get an attacking return. With Ait Nouri, you can get it in open play as well. So yeah, for me, Ait Nouri should start ahead of Gabriel this game week. see a lot of Saka out transfers on my timeline on over at X at the moment. I get that though. He will probably not start, and if he starts, he will probably not play 90 minutes. And they have a tough fixture, and they have a tough fixture in game week 10 and 11 as well. So if you still own Saka, I do believe that he is a sell. Of course, Son was one of the popular routes to go off Saka, but after the comments from Ange Postecoglou on the press conference today, I believe that Phil Foden is the standout replacement for both, actually, Son and Saka. Kind of hurts to see that Son is number 2 in the top transfers in this game week. Almost 300,000 managers have sold him or have bought Son ahead of the deadline. 58 minutes until the deadline. Not really sure what's going on with the connection. YouTube tells me that I keep on losing pictures, but connection should be fine. Let me know in the comments. If the stream is slow or something. Not really sure what's going on with the connection. Let me know in the comments if the live is laggy or glitching or buffering or anything. I get this message from YouTube saying that I'm losing pictures. Not really sure what's wrong though, so please let me know in the comments. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Let me know if you have any questions or things you'd like to discuss ahead of the Game Week 9 deadline. I'm doing fine, but my team isn't. I guess you're not the only one thinking that their FPL team is not in the best state at the moment. So, do you own the likes of Saka or Son, or have you made the famous move of selling Saka to Son too soon? I have Saka and Jota both flagged and only one free transfer. Yeah. I think that Jota is definitely ruled out of game week 9, so Jota will not play against Arsenal. And Saka, yeah, it's hard to tell, but I do believe that game week 9 is maybe a bit too early for him as well, and considering the fixture, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But if you're considering to sell one of them, then Saka is the one I would get rid of. He's the most expensive one, and having 10 million on your bench is probably a bit too much, so I would probably use that transfer on selling Saka and bringing in Phil Foden. We know that both Grealish and Doku are injured. They will not play for Man City this weekend, which means that Foden will probably play. At least he is closer to the starting 11. He did well midweek in Champions League, man of the match. So if he doesn't start in the 10 position, then hopefully Phil Foden can start on one of the flanks. We know he can play both right and left as well as central, so I do believe that Phil Foden is a really good move this game week actually. Jota, on the other hand, he's not that expensive, so it doesn't feel too bad having him on the bench red flagged. But which players will come in for second Jota in your team? ID help? Have any players on your bench that's starting, or is most of your bench injured as well? As mentioned, I would sell Saka. Foden would be my preferred option. And it's not just because we're unsure about Saka starting this game week. I think that Arsenal's fixtures in the next 3 game weeks actually are really tough. So selling Saka at the moment makes sense, but I would have a plan. Maybe try to save up a couple of transfers in game week 10 and 11 to try to fit Saka back in game week 12 when Arsenal have a really big fixture turn and good fixtures coming up. So it's fine to sell Saka, but try to save a couple of transfers in game week 10 and 11 to fit Arsenal players back in from game week 12. Only player on my bench playing is Dunk, yeah, Brighton defense. Actually, even though I can't really see it, Brighton is actually second for expected clean sheet this game week. 36%, same as Brentford, playing against Ipswich at home. Man City, of course, they are the front runners with 56% clean sheet odds from the bookies. So Dunk is probably not the worst option having on the bench if you want to avoid the hit, but yeah, it's not great either. Replacing Saka with Dunk. Would you start Smith Rowe or Semenyo? This game week, if you have Semenyo, I would definitely start him. He has looked really good lately, and if you want to play Semenyo, this is the game week to do it. And he has a couple of tough fixtures coming up before a really good fixture run from game week 12. So I have Semenyo as well. I will be playing him this game week before benching him in game week 10 and 11. And after this, Semenyo, as mentioned, has really good fixtures. So he's in a price category that makes him benchable. But the Aston Villa fixture makes me want to play him. Smith Rowe is decent as well. It's really close between them. For me, I'm playing Semenyo over Smith Rowe because I have Mykolenko starting, so I don't want Smith Rowe and Mykolenko playing against each other in the same game. So Brighton play Wolves. They looked good against City last week. Yeah, Wolves look better, kind of. That Strand Larsen goal was kind of out of nothing though. But yeah, they look better for the last couple of game weeks. I can't really see them keeping a clean sheet, to be honest, but the bookies, they are usually right in their predictions, and seeing them have Brentford and Brighton on 36% of a clean sheet odds, there's usually something to it. Haaland is the front runner for anytime goal scorer for game week 9, followed by Cole Palmer and Watkins with 42% chance of a goal, Palmer 44 and Haaland 60%. So the bookies believe in Haaland against Southampton, even though he blanked for 3 consecutive game weeks. What if I take a hit transfer both out? I still have my first wildcard. Yeah, probably a decent option taking a hit this game week, especially if you have a plan for who to bring in. Selling both Saka and Jota will give you around 17.5 million to buy 2 midfielders. Maybe if you do something like Saka and Jota out and bringing in Foden and Bowen, be decent options, and 2 differentials. Man United, actually, they've been better when it comes to their defense recently, but yeah, I don't really trust them. So West Ham can do well playing at home against Man United in game week 9. Might do Saka out for Foden and Jota out for Mbeumo. Yeah, if you still don't have Mbeumo, I would definitely do that, and it's probably worth a hit as well. Yeah, Saka and Jota to Foden and Mbeumo would be a really nice move. I'm sure I just took it for granted that you already had Mbeumo, so that's why I suggested getting in Jared Bowen. But if you still don't have Mbeumo, then selling Saka and Jota to Phil Foden and Brian Mbeumo is probably the best moves ahead of game week 9. Ipswich still one of the worst teams when it comes to defensive stats from the last 4 game weeks, so I actually believe that Mbeumo is a decent captain punt as well this game week, so yeah, he's worth a hit definitely to get in. Visa is back. You can only see that's being good for Mbeumo. He will draw a lot of attention away from him, so maybe he will get a little bit more space than he has gotten for the last couple of game weeks. He is nailed on playing up front and is on penalties, decent fixtures as well. His price is rising, but he's still kindly priced, so yeah, time to get him in. Mbeumo is also on the top 3 for most transfers in this game week, 294, and this was a couple of hours ago, so maybe it's getting close to 300 transfers in at the moment. And the likes of Saka and Luis Diaz, they are the ones getting transfers out. And of course, the suspended Saliba been sold by over 500,000 FPL managers ahead of the deadline. Guardiola, one of the most popular transfers in after his goal in game week 8. But after taking a look over at X on my timeline, Ike Nouri as well is a really popular transfer target. Mbemo 589k transfers in so far this week. Wow, that's a lot in. Really? I'll double check that. Only a couple of hours ago. Wow, yeah, you're right. On the updated statistics, he has 541. Guardiola 494. Wow. How interesting. Thanks for the update, FOMO. I made these graphics like two hours ago, and the numbers on the screen are what was on the official FPL page, as mentioned 2 hours ago. So Guardiola had 324, some almost 300 transfers in, and Buemo almost 300. So seeing him almost double that in a couple of hours are maybe many are taking hits this week. Yeah, I actually do believe that this will be a week where avoiding hits can be really beneficial when it comes to rank. I do believe that a lot of managers did the Saka to Son move, and after the comments from Ange Postecoglou today that he will probably not play this weekend, then they are just moving from Son again. So just taking the hits. They don't want to have 10 million assets on their bench. A couple of minutes ago, ID help in the comments told us that he had the likes of Saka and Jota. Both of them are probably not going to play. So if you have the likes of Saka, Jota, Diaz, maybe a Saliba, highly owned as well, it's probably wise to just take a hit and avoid having that much funds tied up in an injured player that's not going to play. I still have 3 free transfers, so I'm looking okay for this week. Yeah, decent. I think that the possibility to save up to 5 free transfers is actually really good. It's hard though because of the injuries the temptation to do transfers to catch price rises, etc. But having the patience and saving up the transfers can be crucial. Like when we get news about highly owned players like Saka, Son, Luis Diaz, Saliba being out. Jota as well. Walker will probably not play. So I have one free transfer. Kind of tempted to do something, but the team looks okay. I have a strong bench, so it's probably wise for me just to keep the team on the screen. Captain Haaland, play Gabriel, Mikolenko, Guardiola in defense, and have both Smith Rowe and Virgil van Dijk on the bench as backup. You can see on my timeline over at X that there's a lot of transfer activity going on. I can see that Gabriel is being sold as well by a couple of FPL managers. There's actually quite many that has decided to play their triple captain this game week on Haaland for Man City's decent fixture against Southampton. Cole Palmer, one of the most transferred in. Visa as well. Gisela going for the Visa punt. Some are bringing Cole Palmer in, so it's like if you have a no Haaland team and your only premium is Salah, you don't really want to captain him against Arsenal, so then bringing in Cole Palmer for Saka or Son makes sense to have a decent captain option in this game week. Haaland, triple captain, I like it. I had a Q&A last night discussing it briefly, and there's nothing wrong with triple captaining Haaland this game week. In game week 2, Man City played against Ipswich, and it was like the highest expected goals for one team, and they equals that in game week 9 playing against Southampton. So the bookies really believe that Man City will score a lot of goals, and they probably will. Even though Haaland has blanked for 3 consecutive game weeks, I do believe that City's quality will get through in game week 9, and they will put a couple of goals past them. Interesting to see Gabriel starting over Van Dijk. Hope you're all well. I'm well, thank you. Yeah, going for the attacking threats with Gabriel. He will start, he's nailed on, but it's kind of tempting to play Van Dijk. We know that Arsenal have some of their most important players out with injury. Saka might not play. Ødegaard, of course. So it's still up in the air for me, but I'm 60-40 on playing Gabriel at the moment. Van Dijk could come in for Mikolenko as well, but I like the fixture for Mikolenko, and we know that he is one of those players that can contribute both in attack, and of course, as we saw last week, Everton they are capable of keeping a clean sheet as well. So this is the team that I like the best. I have some other constellations like playing Smith Rowe, benching Semenyo, but if I play Smith Rowe, I would like to bench Mykolenko because I don't want Smith Rowe and Mykolenko playing against each other, which means that Van Dijk would come in. So benching Semenyo and Mykolenko and playing Smith Rowe and Van Dijk would probably make sense, but I've had this team now for the last 4 days, so changing it now 30 minutes before the deadline is probably not the best idea. Fair enough. Gabriel on the bench for me. I have Trent starting. Yeah, if I had Trent, I would probably start him ahead of Gabriel. Yeah. Earlier on the stream, I actually advised someone to play Ait Nouri as well over Gabriel. So I'm not confident in a clean sheet, neither for Henderson, my goalkeeper, or Gabriel. I can't really see a clean sheet for Crystal Palace or Arsenal, but yeah, when it comes to Henderson, he's my only goalkeeper, and I'm not willing to spend a transfer on a goalkeeper. My plan is to wildcard in game week 12, and I would like to have a couple of free transfers after using my wildcard as well. So the new rule this season is that all the free transfers you have when pressing the wildcard button will stay after you played your wildcard. So just keep Henderson and hoping that he will get some not a clean sheet, excuse me, some save points against Spurs. Other than that, Henderson, Gabriel, tough fixtures for them. I actually like my team this game week. Hopefully it will be a new green arrow. It will be my 4th green arrow in a row. Guardiola, decent fixture against Southampton. Same goes for Foden and Haaland, of course. Mykolenko against Fulham. And have Rodgers and Watkins. I like their fixture as well. Both of them scored last game week, so hopefully they can replicate that this game week. And Mbeumo, really, really good fixture against Ipswich. Actually, he is like, if you want to take a punt, and if you don't own Haaland, then he is probably one of the best captain options for game week 9. And Calvert-Lewin, of course, not the best recently, but he'll probably start. He is on penalties for Everton, and hopefully he can do something against Fulham. "30 minutes until the deadline." Actually, it's 29 minutes, soon to be 28. So if you have any planned transfers, make sure to lock your team in. 30 minutes left. I don't think we'll get any early team news this game week, or leaks, or anything. I'll have a quick look over at X. FPL Pat at X. So this is not my my team news or anything, just reading off from my timeline on X, so make what you want from it. But he's saying that Saka is out for sure and that Luis Diaz will start. So yeah, that's not confirmed, but probably makes sense. If Diaz is close to starting, he will probably start, and Saka might be out. We know that Jota is out, so if Diaz is capable of starting, he probably will. Should I triple captain Haaland? Yeah, it's decent. Go for it. If you think that Haaland will do well in game week 9, I would say go for it. We know that this season will not be similar to the last couple of seasons where we had big double game weeks. We know that there will be few double game weeks and there will not be a lot of teams involved. We're not even sure that Man City will have a double game week this season. So at the end of the season, the players who did not play their triple captain in game week 2 and in game week 9, when Man City had probably the best single game week fixtures of the season, playing at Etihad against newly promoted Ipswich and Southampton. There might be some regrets in game week 38 about not having played it in those 2 game weeks. So I think that if you have a feeling that Haaland will do well, then go for it. For me, it's like I have had a really tough start to the season of going without Haaland in the 6 first game weeks. That went totally wrong. So my rank was close to 4 million, I think. But I started to climb in rank with 4 consecutive green arrows. So my plan is to wait and see what double game week fixtures will get, and if a team like Brentford or Brighton have decent fixtures in their double game week, then I will probably go for a punt by triple captaining the likes of Mbuemo or João Pedro in a double game week. If that's a success, then it will be really, really good for the rank, of course. It's like, if I don't triple captain Haaland this game week, I still have him as my captain, so it won't be that bad. His effective ownership will probably be around 170 or something like that, with all the captaincy and triple captains involved. So there's an advantage, of course, of playing the triple captain if he does well, but it will not be as effective as playing the triple captain on a player with lower ownership later in the season. But I got that question yesterday on the Q&A and a couple of times on this stream as well. And if you think that Haaland will do well, this will be one of the best game weeks to play the triple captain, I'd say, playing at home against Southampton. So go for it. 22 minutes. 22 minutes left until the deadline. Of course, I could play Van Dijk, but I actually like the look of Mykolenko in my team that Fulham at home. I know that Raul Jimenez has done really well lately, and his stats are actually insane from the last 4 game weeks, but hopefully Sean Dyche and Everton with Branthwaite back as well. Hopefully they can put in a good defensive performance against Fulham. So yeah, Mykolenko will probably stay. As mentioned earlier, he's been in my team now for the last days, and I'm not really sure how I will feel if I change that now and see Everton get a clean sheet. Even though it always feels tough to have benched the most expensive player if he does well, of course, and if I play Mykolenko, as mentioned, then I will probably just keep Smith Rowe on the bench to maximize the potential for points. I like Smith Rowe actually this game week, and I like him as a player, but I don't like having a midfielder or forward playing against one of my defenders. So Smith Rowe probably on my bench with Van Dijk. Really good bench cover for me this game week. The team on the screen will probably just be my game week 9 selection. "20 minutes left." No early team news, no leaks. Just have a quick look over at X. I'm not sure where the news about Saka definitely being out and Diaz starting is actually coming from. I can't see a source, so yeah, we have to take that with a pinch of salt. You see that a lot of managers are actually activating their triple captain this game week. A couple of wildcards as well. Haaland in most of them, Palmer as well. After the news about some, I do believe that Cole Palmer probably is the best replacement long term, but if you have 3 or 4 free transfers and want to take advantage of the good Man City fixtures, I think that Phil Foden is a decent punt still. Love ownership for Phil Foden. Foden in for Saka. Yeah, as mentioned, I do believe that Phil Foden is one of the best replacements for Saka this game week. Even though Saka will play, I do believe that he is a sell at the moment with the fixture and the fitness worries about him. So Foden in for Saka is a really good transfer. Long term, it's probably the best long term move, but the next three fixtures are really good for Man City, and we know that Grealish and Doku are missing out. They're injured, so that will probably boost Foden's expected minutes for the next couple of game weeks. So I do believe that he is a really good buy at the moment. Got him in last week. Really frustrating to see him not starting in week 8, of course, but luckily he got an assist, so 4 points in game week 8, but hopefully he can do something more in game week 9. That's the expectations, of course, especially if he starts, and I do believe that he will start in game week 9. So Foden in for Saka, yes, go for it. Fifteen minutes left until the deadline. I've got a couple of questions about triple captain Haaland. I discussed it earlier. I'll just say that if you think Haaland will do well, go for it. This is one of the best fixtures. There will not be a lot of double game weeks this season, and we're not sure that Man City actually will have a double game week. So if you think that Haaland is a good candidate this game week, then go for it. And it's definitely backed up by the bookies. So top 3 anytime goal scorers, as you can see on the screen, Haaland 60%. So he usually has around 50, sometimes low 40s, sometimes 55. But this game week he has reached 60% of scoring. So Haaland triple captain, yes, go for it. Who to start, Vandenberg or Konate? I will definitely start Vandenberg playing at home against Ipswich. Konate, actually, he scored in Europe and has done well recently for Liverpool, but can't really ignore the differences in the fixture difficulty for Liverpool and Brentford this game week. So I would rather have Vandenberg playing at home against Ipswich than Konate playing away against Arsenal. As you can see, I'm actually benching Van Dijk myself this game week, trusting Gabriel and his attacking potential. I'm starting Mikolenko. I like the fixture against Fulham, even though Raul Jimenez is on fire. Hopefully Sean Dyche and Everton can keep a clean sheet. And by starting Mikolenko, I'm also benching Smith Rowe because I don't want them to play against each other in that fixture. So that's my reasoning for my team selection. Haaland will be my captain. I got a couple of questions about triple captaincy. I'd say go for it if you think Haaland will do well. But for me, I will take a punt on one other nailed on penalty taker like Mbuemo will have a double game week later in the season. So if Brentford has a game against Leicester and let's say Southampton in a double game week in game week 34 or 37, I would really love to have my triple captain ready for that game week. No rumors about any lineup. Of course, there's not that much interest in the game tonight when it comes to early team news and leaks, but I think that tonight's game is an interesting one when it comes to fantasy. Of course, Leicester Vardy is a player with a bit of ownership. Chris Wood, of course, for Nottingham Forest. A lot of managers have Forest defense as well. Buonanotte has become popular for the last couple of game weeks. Same goes for Mavididi, decent option. So there are a potential game for FPL managers to follow. Let me know if you have any questions, 50-50 decisions or dilemmas ahead of the game week. There's only 9 minutes left until the deadline. The team on the screen will most probably be my team this game week. I got a couple of comments about Mikolenko starting ahead of Van Dijk, and a couple who say that Semenyo should be on my bench. That Aston Villa is a tough fixture, but the reasoning is that I'm not confident playing Smith Rowe against Mikolenko. So benching Smith Rowe is me trying to optimize my starting 11 by not having a forward playing against my defense.
Snart kuppet säd. Sen över bra. Men for min så er det sånn der det ikke. For det er jeg som er terjemannen.
Still no significant news over the X.
Kan du se på? Hva er det der, da? Hva er det? Spille cola.
1 minute left. Let's make sure I locked in my team. Okay. This is it for game week 9. I'm captain Smith Rowe, Van Dijk on the bench, Mikolenko and Gabriel will start for me. No transfers made. And there it is, the deadline has gone. Hopefully you made your transfers, and if you had any last second transfers, hopefully they went through. So best of luck for game week 9. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the stream, and go check out my channel. Good luck, FOMO. Hopefully we'll see a green arrow in game week 9. I actually like my team, as mentioned earlier. It's only Henderson and Gabriel. I don't really like their fixture, but other than that, I like Guardiola, Mikolenko, and like my front 7. Decent bench cover, so hopefully a new green arrow. So best of luck for game week 9. Hopefully I'll see you on my next stream. It will be closer to the game week 10 deadline. So have a nice evening and a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time.